All right, guys, welcome to my mobile studio again. I'm Sean Marmello, and I make videos giving people advice about performing live and having an actual music career that can make you some money. I wanted to go into why I quit the studio. Now, a lot of people are in the studio and they put together albums and they work endlessly on their masterpieces, and it's all good. I get it. I mean, I did it. So I started recording in the studio in the 80s, late 80s. And I got my own studio back in the day. We had to rent our own building. We had to buy all the gear, and it was an 8-track, like a 688 Tascam 8-track. And one of the tracks was striped for MIDI sync, and we used a Voyetra, DOS version of Voyetra, Sequencer Pro, I believe. And we started recording in, outboard gear, microphones, things like that. And we made several albums, my buddy Mark and I. And we did a lot of recording through the 90s. And then I think I first got Pro Tools. I got Cakewalk, I think 97, when computers got fast enough. I started sequencing my own stuff. And I got into Pro Tools in 97, I believe. And I probably was in front of that computer from 97 to 2012, 15 years solid, tens of thousands of hours. I mean, I spent so much time in the studio. I had a studio in Nashville, in the basement. We could record drums. We had live rooms. I spent $200,000 on gear, made albums. I recorded albums for other people. I produced albums. All my spare time was in the studio. And I stopped. I quit the studio in 2012. I wrote my last song when I lived in Nashville. It was called Money. It was the brokest period of my life. Nashville's a rough town. Even the most talented people in the world will tell you that. And I was working on music full time, writing songs, producing albums, doing whatever I could to try to make some money. And I had it. I'm just sitting in front of it. And I wrote my last song. I closed it out. I opened it very rarely just to tweak some stuff, but I quit the studio completely when we moved back to Florida at the end of 2014. I mean, I got rid of Pro Tools. I sold my outboard gear, sold my preamps, the rest of the stuff that we didn't sell before we moved, and we ended up selling a lot of it, all the expensive outboard gear and preamps and compressors and universal audio stuff, and all this outboard stuff that we didn't need when we built our live production thing. We built a bunch of bands and corporate. We also did, we still do. We also did some tributes and stuff like that. So ended up getting rid of it. I ended up just burning out in the studio. I spent too much time inside, too much time in front of a fucking computer screen. And that, I stopped writing. I was burnt out. I wrote hundreds of songs. I've told the story before. And, I think it's just phases of life. I think you burn out on something. You just want to go, I was a very physical dude. When I was younger, I liked to be outside, hunting, fishing, hiking, and traveling, all that kind of stuff. And I want to get back to that. I want to get back to just physical stuff and, not staring at a computer screen. I just couldn't do it anymore. And even for, different projects that we've done and for my businesses and stuff, I would lay tracks at home here and there or whatever. My buddy Mark basically just took over, my musical partner. He basically just took over all the track making and all the mixing and everything. And I've never gone back to it, and I don't miss it. I opened Pro Tools a few times in the last few years to do a couple little things here and there, but I used to spend 12 hours a day in front of it, and I burnt out. So I think that pretty much explains why I quit the studio. I'm not making albums right now. I was doing some video editing as well. I haven't been doing a lot of that. I just shoot the videos on my phone. I edit them on my phone now because, I'm building, this year I've been building a bus, and we're going to move into the bus, and we're going to be traveling around and just, different phase of life. And so I can't ever see myself on a full-time basis, or even the amount of hours it takes to record and create things in the studio. I want to put my art out there in a live manner. I want to put it out live every night, improvisational stuff in front of a live audience. That's where I'm going, rather than sculpt and sculpt and sculpt and trying to create something perfect and you keep sculpting. That's another thing. If you have your own studio, you run into the danger of continuously sculpting something so it's never done. And I mean, I'm guilty of that. I have 100 demos of songs that just never got finished because I was sculpting and sculpting and sculpting. So, you know, I'm just not doing it anymore. So, you know, there's better things to do. There's other things that I want to spend the rest of my life doing. So that's why I quit the studio. And, you know, be careful because you could burn out on anything. So beware. All right. Please like and subscribe and let me know what you think in the comments. And I'll talk to you soon. Bye.